It's one of the most storied universities in college football, winning 4 national championships and 16 SEC titles. LSU has produced 39 All-Americans and 3 Heisman Trophy winners, including last year's at quarterback Jaden Daniels. Now, in today's video, I'm taking all the Bayou Bengals that are in the league right now and putting them on one team and seeing if they could win a Super Bowl for the state of Louisiana. What up, squad? Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is time for us to make the Bayou Bengals a Super Bowl winning university in the NFL. And of course, we had to put them on the New Orleans Saints. This squad is stacked on the offensive side of the ball and in the secondary. We'll start off at quarterback, and it's Joe Cool, man. Joe Burrow. And you already know I'm kind of in my feelings about this, man. He's an Ohio State guy, but he won a Heisman at LSU, won a national championship at LSU, and now he takes over as quarterback of the New Orleans Saints with the superstar development. Behind him, you've got Jaden Daniels, the rookie from LSU, last year's Heisman Trophy winner, and then Danny Etling, the 7th year out of LSU. The running back room, I thought there were going to be more running backs from LSU, but I guess not. Clyde Edwards-Helaire leads the way as a 75 overall. Leonard Fournette, I feel like he's been in the league for longer than 7 years, but okay. You got Darrell Williams, and then you've got Tryon Davis-Price, his 2nd year out of LSU. Now, where they're going to be stacked is at wide receiver, led by Justin Jefferson, Jay Jetta's 99 overall. Then you've got Jamar Chase. He comes in as a 93 overall. Odell Beckham Jr. is on the roster. You got Malik Neighbors, the rookie. You've got Russell Gage Jr. You got Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Chark Jr., Jarvis Landry, Terrence Marshall, Cyril Grayson, Kayshawn Booty, and then you've got Racy McMath. It's a lot of wide receivers. Comments down below. Who do you think has a better roster of wide receivers, LSU or Ohio State? I would love to hear what you guys think. At tight end, you got Foster Moreau. You've got Steven Sullivan. You got Thaddeus Moss, and then you've got Reed Ferguson. Offensive line, probably the weakest spot of this team. Damian Lewis. Normally he'll play guard, but we're going to kick him out to left tackle. Then you've got Lyle Collins. You've got Sadiq Charles. You've got Ethan Pochik. Will Clapp is here. Trey Turner. Ed Ingram. Anthony Bradford. Chasen Hines. At the other tackle position, man, I put Lloyd Cushenberry III at right tackle. Normally, I think he plays center. You got Austin Deckles. You've got Gerald Hawkins and Badara Traore. I'm trying here. Defense side of the ball, a lot of pass rushers, but they have lower overalls on this team. BJ Ojulari at defensive end. You've got Mekhi Wingo, Frank Heron, Daniil Hunter. I didn't realize Daniil Hunter went to LSU. Wow. You got Michael Brockers at D tackle. Al Woods, 14th year out of LSU. You got Mason Smith, the rookie. Jordan Jefferson, Tyler Shelvin, Braden Fihoko. Yep, I'm trying here, y'all. Jacqueline Roy. You got Neil Farrell at D tackle. I like their linebacking core. There are more pass rushers here. You got Arden Key. You got Clevon Chason, Jabril Cox. You got Tayshawn Bauer, Patrick Queen, Devin White, really good middle linebackers. Deion Jones is here. Quan Alexander, Duke Riley, Jacob Phillips. Got Damone Clark at the outside linebacker. He's speedy. You got Andre Anthony. And here's where they're going to shine, the cornerback room. They don't call LSU DBU for nothing. Tre'Davious White at corner number 1. You got Derek Stingley here. Patrick Peterson. You got Dante Jackson, Greedy Williams, Cordell Flott, Christian Fulton, Kevin Tolliver II, and Kerry Vincent Jr. All really good corners, man. And the free safety, you got to go with the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. They also have Jarek Bernard Converse. Jamal Adams at strong safety. Grant Delpit is here. Jalen Mills and Jay Ward. And then at kicker, Cade York. This team is stacked. A lot of good players. I'm thinking offensively, they're going to be unstoppable, especially in the passing game. Joe Burrow playing with, some of his former teammates, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I believe that they can be really good on the offensive side of the ball. Defense is a little concerning. It's going to be hard to throw against them with these really good corners, but defensive line is going to be a struggle. Pass rush is going to be a struggle, and offensive line is going to be a struggle too. I think they can get to the playoffs, but I don't think that they're going to win a Super Bowl. All right, so it's time to set our season goal. And as I mentioned, man, I think this team is a playoff team. I don't see them making the Super Bowl. It's just too many glaring holes at offensive line and defensive line. But I think they can make a run to the playoffs. So the head coach of this LSU squad is going to be my guy, man, Ed Orgeron, probably the best voice ever in college football. But let's set up our scheme. Right now it says we're 76% multiple power run. Vertical power run is up to an 84. We'll go Buffalo because it's a vertical passing game. Yeah. Defensively, it says 80% base 4-3, but I think 3-4. So we simulate game one, and the Saints, aka the LSU Tigers, get the win 20-17. That's a close one, man, against this Tennessee Titans squad. Burrow finished with 192 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Edwards-Helaire, 51 yards and a touchdown. Out wide, you had Jamar Chase, 4 catches, 57 yards. Justin Jefferson, 4 for 48. Foster Moreau has 4 for 34 and a touchdown. Defensively, Stingley led the way, 11 tackles. Patrick Queen had 10. Honey Badger had 7. Devin White with 4. There we go. 2 sacks on the day. Wingo had 1. Hunter and Clark split 1. And then turnover department, Stingley had an interception. So let's go ahead and simulate to midseason to see where this team ends up. Okay, so far the team is sitting at 4-3 on the season. And Joe Burrow's putting up some crazy numbers, 1,585 yards, 9 touchdowns with only 1 interception. But cause for concern, 17 sacks. He's been sacked 17 times. Ground game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire leads the team, 421 yards, 4 scores. Burrow is second on the team with 138 yards and a touchdown. Leonard Fournette, only 46 yards and 1 score. Out wide, doing a great job getting it out to all of our targets. Jettis leads the way, 29 grabs, 450 and 6 scores. Foster Moreau is second on the team, 29 catches, 264 and a touchdown. Jamar Chase, interesting stat line here, 28 catches, 368, no touchdowns. OBJ with 27 grabs for 302 and a score. Edwards-Helaire, 16 catches, 104 and a touchdown. There's Malik Neighbors down here, 3 catches for 31 yards. And Thaddeus Moss, 1 catch for 26 yards. I figured the offensive line would be a struggle. Damian Lewis, 7 sacks given up through 7 games. Lyle Collins has given up 4. Cushenberry's given up 4. You've got Turner giving up 2. And Posick, he's given up 1. Defensively, Patrick Queen with 51 tackles. Stingley with 44. Devin White has 42. Honey Badger with 39. Tre'Davious White with 33. Daniil Hunter with 30. Jamal Adams has 29. Bernard Converse has 23. Key with 16. Clark with 16. You got Smith and Jefferson each with 15. Sack department, Daniil Hunter leads the way with 6 sacks. Ojulari with 2. Wingo with 2. Key with a sack and a half, and same with Clark. Turnover department, only 5 interceptions. Wow. Queen has 1. Stingley with 1. White, Matthew, and White each with 1. I'm kind of shocked by that. I thought they would get a lot more turnovers. Any defensive touchdowns? No defensive touchdowns. Cade York is 16 for 16. Only 16 extra points, and he's 6-9 for field goals. Huh. That's interesting, man. I thought this team would do a lot better. So here's a look at the schedule. They beat the Titans like we saw earlier. Back-to-back losses to the Panthers and Packers. They got blanked by the Packers, 21-0. Beat the Buccaneers, beat the Patriots. Lost to the Texans. They came back and beat the Jaguars. Here's the rest of the schedule, man. We head out on the road to take on the Colts. At home versus the Bears. Back on the road at Minnesota. We finally get our bye week in week 11. At the Falcons. Then it's a 3-game homestand versus the Lions, Panthers, and Giants. Then we head back out on the road for 2 games, Rams and Bucks, and then close out versus the Falcons. I mean, 4-3 is not a good start. Hopefully this team can right the ship. And boy, did they ever right that ship, finishing 13-4 on the season. So that means they've only lost 1 game since week 8. Taking a look at the regular season stats, Joe Burrow, 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, was sacked 30 times. So shout out to the offensive line getting their act together, only giving up 13 sacks after week 8. On the ground, Edwards-Helaire came close to 1,000 yards, 894 yards, 9 scores. Burrow with 412 and 3 scores. And then Fournette, 359 yards and 9 touchdowns. Out wide, Jamar Chase, what? 89 catches, 1,124 yards, 8 touchdowns. Now, when we checked back at week 7, he didn't have any scores. So he must have went to Burrow and said, hey, man, throw me the ball. Jettas, 85 grabs, 1,275 yards, 12 scores. Odell, 62 grabs, 697 to 6 scores. Foster Moreau, 59 grabs, 528 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Edwards-Helaire, 30 for 182 and a score. Malik Neighbors, 14 for 169 and 2 touchdowns. Offensive line still struggled a little bit. Damian Lewis gave up 11 sacks, but they kept him clean. I mean, he had 4,000 yards passing. Defensively, they must have locked in on the second half of this season, man. Patrick Queen, 107 tackles. Honey Badger with 94. Devin White had 90. Stingley with 83. And then a drop-off, man. Jamal Adams with 69. Tre'Davious White had 69 as well. Bernard Converse with 60. Daniil Hunter with 59. Clark with 38. Wingo with 33. Smith and Key each with 32. Jefferson with 30. Ojulari had 28. And then Al Woods with 23. Sack department, Daniil Hunter stepped up big time, man. 12.5 sacks for him. Wingo with 6. Ojulari had 4.5. Clark and Key each with 2.5. Jefferson with 2. And White with 1. Look at the interceptions, yo. This is what I was expecting out of their secondary. Even though Devin White had 5 picks at linebacker, Stingley and White each had 5 interceptions. Queen and Honey Badger had 2. So did Grant Delpit. 2 forced fumbles. Only one of them was recovered. Stingley had a pick 6. No safeties. Okay. Cade York finished perfect on extra points. It was 15 of 19 on field goals. Punted the ball 46 times. Pat P returning kicks. They weren't really good. Punt returns weren't really good either. All right, man. So if they were going to pick the NFL MVP right now, Joe Burrow will finish 5th. Coach of the year will be John Harbaugh. Ed Orgeron will finish 5th in that one. Offensive player of the year, Burrow is 6th on this list. Jettas is 9th. Defensive player of the year, nobody from the Saints. Offensive rookie of the year, nobody. Our defensive rookie of the year, Mekhi Wingo finishes 10th. Best QB, Burrow finishes 4th in that one. Best running back, we probably won't have anybody up there. Best wide receiver, we got Jettas in at 3, and you got Jamar Chase down here at 10. Nobody for best offensive line. Best defensive line, Daniil Hunter finishes 7th. He had 12.5 sacks. That's wild. Best linebacker, wow, Devin White had 5 picks, and he doesn't get best linebacker? Interesting. Best DB, Tre'Davious White is 4th, and then that's it. No, I'm sorry. Stingley finishes 7th. But like I mentioned, I figured this team would be a playoff team. They are the number 2 seed in the NFC, getting ready to take on the 7th seed New York Giants. But you see who's waiting for them in round 2. The Cowboys are the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's wild. Let's go, boys. We are at the Caesar Superdome for Super Wild Card Weekend as our LSU New Orleans Saints get ready to take on the Giants. They finished number 2 in the NFC. Looking to bring a Super Bowl title home to New Orleans. All right, man, let's sim it up and see what happens. Saints come down and score first. 7-0. They score again in the second, making it 14-0. Giants kick a field goal. Jump ahead to the third quarter. Low scoring game. There it is, 21-3, 21-6. And that should put the nail in the coffin. 35-6, 35-13 is your final. Saints move on to the second round of the playoffs. All right, take a look at the stats on today. Burrow finishes 24-34 for 259. Only threw 1 touchdown pass on the ground. Fournette, 15 carries, 36 yards, 2 scores. Joe Burrow, 11 carries, 57 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Out wide, Jamar Chase led the way, 7 grabs for 94 yards. Jetta, 6 catches, 77 yards, and a tutty. Beckham Jr., 5 for 48. Williams, 3 for 9. Foster Moreau, 2 for 25. And then Fournette, 1 catch for 6 yards. Defensively, defensively, these boys put the Giants in a chokehold, man. Honey Badger led the way, 7 tackles. Jamal Adams and Queen each with 5. You had Bernard Converse with 4. Stingley, Clark, Jefferson, and Delpit each with 3. Sack department, Chason with 1, Clark with 1, Matthew and Jefferson split a sack, and then Tre'Davious White with an interception. Now these boys are on to the divisional round, and things just got a whole lot tougher. We are at home, and we're welcoming in the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers. All right, here we go, man. Start of the divisional round. Niners come down and score first. They're up 7-0. They take a 14-0 lead into the second. Oh, man, we're down 3 touchdowns. Oh, my gosh. Hold on. I might have to jump in here. Down 24-0. I don't understand why everybody's so tired. We're down 31-0 in the divisional round of the playoffs. Wow. I mean, Jefferson had a step there. This is kind of disappointing. I didn't think the team would go out like this. Good catch. Hey, on the ball. Play action. Get out of there, Gage. Get out of there, Gage. Let's go, man. At least we're going to get in the end zone. Shoot. Oh, he doesn't fumble there. Oh. Thought we got there. I mean, a disappointing showing in the divisional round. Only putting up 7 points, but the defense gives up 31 to the Niners. I mean, taking a look at the stats, Joe, 17 of 22, 217 yards, a late touchdown, but he did throw an interception. And if you look at the average passing yards, under 10 yards per pass. On the ground for net, 27 yards. Burrow, 17 yards. I knew the run game was going to be a problem for this team. Al White, Beckham with 4 catches for 34 yards. Jefferson, 4 for 56. Jamar had 4 for 36. Williams, 2 for 10. Russell Gage, 1 catch for 45 yards and a touchdown. Malik Neighbors, 1 catch for 30 yards. And Foster Moreau had 1 catch for 6 yards. Sack department, they gave up 3 sacks. Damian Lewis gave up 1, Cushenberry, so both of the tackles give up 3 sacks. Defensively, they just couldn't stop a cold, bro. They couldn't stop anybody. And they couldn't stop traffic if they had a red light. That's how bad it was. Pat Pete, 10 tackles. Never good when your corner leads the team in tackles. Chason had 10. Devin White with 7. Patrick Queen with 6. Greedy, Jones, and Smith each with 4. Stingley had 3. So did Jefferson, Key, and Jackson. Grant Delpit with 3 as well. No QB pressure, no interceptions, and their season is over with. Tough way for the LSU Tigers / New Orleans Saints to go out. A lot of talent at each position, right? But I knew there was going to be a glaring hole on the offensive line and on the defensive line. Daniil Hunter was playing defensive end when honestly he should have been playing outside linebacker as a pass rusher. They didn't have enough the D tackles prospects that they've had. Good in college, but just haven't panned out in the league yet. But I think that this is one of those type of schools where they're constantly bringing in talent. You know what I'm saying? LSU has talent up and down their roster. And it'd be fun to see what they can do in the league in the next few years, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell, join the Noti Squad. And yo, down in the comments, which school should I do next? I know there's Bama, Georgia, Texas, USC. There's a few more out there. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comments. And also, make sure you guys check out this video right here because YouTube said you guys are going to love it. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.